Hello everyone, welcome to lesson 3 of my PySimpleGUI course. In today's lesson, we are going to talk about return values. First, let's talk about lists. Let's say there's a list that equals 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then if we print the list, this will show every single value, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. But what happens if we only want one value? This way, there's a simple way. We do print, and then we put list, and then square brackets. The square brackets, we need to put a number. If we start with 0, let's try 0, it would be the first value, 1. And then if inside the square brackets is 1, then we get the second value, which would be 2. It's the value number minus 1. And then another way of storing data is using dictionaries. Let's say there's a dictionary called A1, and then this is one value. This is a key value pair. This is the key and this is the value. They correspond to each other, and this is a very useful way, and we can have a bunch of pairs. But the keys don't always have to be strings. They can also be like a number, like 4 and D, like that. And then if we print this dictionary, then the dictionary would be this whole thing. But if we want to print only the first pair, then we can try what we did with lists. We can start with 0, but if we do this, it will say this is wrong because dictionaries don't use the same storing system as lists. Inside the square brackets, we have to write the key, which is like these, before the colon. So if we want the first value, all we need to do is the key for the first value, so it's A. If we do this, we would print out 1. And we can try the numbers too. If we write 4 here, it should, in theory, print out D. And that's what it prints out. Okay, so now that we understand lists and dictionaries, we can start on today's code. Okay, so we want a window like this with 5 rows. So we can start by importing PySimpleGUI as SG, and then layout equals, so there's 5 rows, 1 row, 2 rows, 3 rows, 4 rows, and 5 rows. In the first row, we need sg.text, and inside the text element, we put answer the info below in a string. Answer the info below. And then in the second row, it would be a text element and then an input text element with a prompt that says my name, Charles. So it's sg.text name, and then we separate these with a comma, sg.input text, and then the prompt says Charles, so that's what I'll put. And then the third row would be gender and then male. So sg.text, gender, and then we separate them with a comma, sg.input text, and then I'm male, so I write male. And then so for the fourth line, it would be nationality, Canadian. Nationality, separate them with a comma, Canadian. The last line are 2 buttons, right? An OK and a cancel. So stg.button, okay, stg.button, cancel. Oh, also don't forget to put brackets around the strings. That way it won't say it's wrong. And then that should be it. So after we create the window equals stg.window, we can name the window Python GUI. And then the layout would be the variable layout we made. And then we make an event loop true. Event values equals stg.window. Oh wait, no, sorry, window.read. Then we can print out the event and values to understand how they work. Oh, wait. And then if we want to close it, we will be able to close it. And we do window.close to close. And then let's print this out. So this should look similar to the picture. Yes, it's identical. And then okay, so this is the event and values. This okay here is the event, since I just clicked okay to get this out. And then values is this whole dictionary. This is all values. So the first key is 0, and then the second key is 1, third is 2. Okay, so if we only want the first value, which is Charles, if we only want that, we can do if event equals okay, print values with 0 in here, since the key is 0 for Charles. Let's try this to make sure it works. Okay, so Charles shows up. But this is kind of hard. We need to print this first and then read through the whole dictionary to find the key for the value we want. There's a simpler way. We can simply give this input text its own custom key. Like, say we can name it name, all capital with 2 slashes. And then if we want, we don't even need to check this whole dictionary. All we need to know is this key. We can just copy and paste this. That's all we need. And then now, if we print it, if we click OK, it would show Charles. This is a really simple way, and we'll be using this in the next few lessons. Alright, thanks for watching this lesson, and I will see you in the next lesson. And remember, learning at Work for Tuition is easier than addition.